Hello, welcome to this lesson on data. Today we're going to talk about how we look at data and different important aspects of making sure we do the best job we can when collecting data. The first thing that's really important to remember is that you have to be accurate. That means what you enter in your data table or chart or graph has to be correct. So for example, you see there's a data table in front of you, and the title of it is Helicopter Flights, which goes with what we're working on in STEAM class. On the left side of the data table, you can see Trial 1, Trial 2, and Trial 3. And the second column you'll see is labeled with time, and in parentheses it says SEC, which stands for seconds. So each trial is entered in seconds for the time that it took the helicopter to fall. It's important that we have exactly the right amount of seconds, because when you're working with something such as seconds, these little amounts can make a big difference. So for example, 1 whole second away from trial 1 would be 5.5, and 4.5 seconds and 5.5 seconds in our data here are very, very different. So you have to make sure that you're accurate so you get the best information possible for your experiment or whatever it is you're collecting data about. Number 2 is you have to make sure to be really thorough. And that means you need to check your work, make sure you put your labels. You see that in trial 1, you can see that I typed in 4.5 seconds right here, and I didn't just put 4.5. If I would have just put 4.5, you're not exactly sure. Even though the top does say seconds, it's always best to label it so that it's very clear what the 4.5 represents. And in this case, it represents seconds. So the third thing you want to make sure to remember is to keep your data table really organized and neat. So I typed the data table you see in front of you, but many times we construct our data tables, our charts, with just a pencil and a piece of paper. We may not even have a ruler. But it's still important to keep it neat and do the best that you can. If you write 4.5 seconds in the wrong column, or it's so messy that someone can't read what numbers you wrote, then that's really going to affect the outcome of your experiment. The results you're going to get are not going to be correct. And that was all just because you weren't neat and organized, and you made a simple little mistake such as writing something too messy or writing something in the wrong spot. So make sure you do that. And then a lot of times when collecting data, you are going to do multiple trials with that data. So for example, we're dropping the helicopters right now, and we aren't dropping them just once. We're dropping them multiple times and timing them multiple times because we're humans and humans make mistakes. So you could make an error dropping it too soon, or maybe the timer stopped timing it too soon. So we want to do it multiple times to get the best possible, most accurate information that we can. So when we do this, we need to find the average of our times. And the average means to take all of the different trials that you did, and you're actually going to add them together, like I did over here. That's an arrow. Okay, so we added up 4.5 seconds, 5.2 seconds, 4.2 seconds, and we got 13.9 seconds. And that gives us, obviously, a total of 3 time trials. Now, that's not our answer because we need to take that total and divide it by 3. And the reason that we do that is because we took 3 separate times. So if we take the total sum of all 3 of those times and we divide them by 3, then the answer that we get, and down here it's 4.63, is going to be sort of in the middle of all 3 of our trials. It's right in the middle of all the different data that we collected. So in this case, I would be able to go ahead and type 4.63 for the average time. Whoops, but look, I forgot something important. I forgot seconds, because we always have to remember that we are labeling exactly what data we're collecting so that everyone's very clear. exactly what it means. Kind of one thing you can keep in mind is that if you handed your data table or chart or graph to someone else who had no idea what you were doing that day, they should be able to read it and understand it and pull some conclusions from the data that they see. Okay, so I hope this helped you, and I hope you do a great job on your data collection for STEAM class. Thank you.